G'day. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about health and fitness. Does it matter what we eat? Does what we eat make us a better person? Does it make us healthier, fitter? I'm speaking from my experience and what I have observed through my lifetime, nearly 70 years. Okay, now I was a meat eater. I was born into a family. Everyone ate meat, country people. Wasn't a problem, although I wasn't a very healthy kid. For some reason, I got every disease you could possibly think of when I was a kid. But as I grew up, very rarely got sick actually. But I was a big meat eater. I was a mad shooter, mad fisherman, had a lot of seafood, a lot of meat. And I was always strong actually, physically strong, but skinny as a rake. Most of my life, skinny as a rake. But, like I said, pretty strong. Now, at a point in my life, I decided I didn't want to kill anything anymore. Gave away my rifles. I developed a respect for animals. And I thought, well, we're all in the same boat here. We're sharing the same dream. And animals are probably contributing just as much as we are to the virtual reality that we exist within as a visualization of our thoughts. So they're visualizing their thoughts, I would imagine. But I developed a respect because, we're all doing it the same. We're doing it tough. We're trying to survive in a dream state that we haven't got a clue about. We've forgotten that we created it, that we're contributing to it all of the time, that the evolution of life is up to us. We've forgotten that. And animals probably don't know anything about that stuff. But I don't know. I'm just surmising. But like I said, I didn't want to kill stuff anymore. Why make it any harder for them? Like I said, we're all trying to survive. So I became a veggie. Overnight, actually. I don't tend to drag things out. So one minute I was a big meat eater, big seafood eater, shooter, then I wasn't. Okay, so veggie. Learnt martial arts from when I was about 17 years old, probably for the wrong reasons. Stuff going on. Thought I needed protection. So I learnt martial arts. I actually learnt martial arts before I became a veggie. I think I was only about 28, I think, when I became a veggie. And I also started learning meditation at that time, I think. Trying to understand me, understand the world, all that sort of stuff. But what I ate didn't seem to make any difference, actually. I went from a big meat eater, and I was strong, reasonably healthy at that time. Then I gave up meat, became a veggie, still strong, didn't seem to make any difference. And what I'm trying to get at is I really don't think it's what we eat that determines who we are, what sort of a person we are, how healthy we are. It comes back to our thoughts, our feelings. If we think we're doing something wrong and we keep doing it, more than likely we will visualize something into the dream that'll cause us problems. We have doubts or fears, fears maybe that we're doing something wrong and we don't want people to know about it, whatever. So it's how we feel about what we do that matters. Feeling suggests behavior. Feeling is an expression of emotional intelligence, an expression of what has been suggestively taken on board and built upon through intellect. Intellect accumulates, forms memories. It's also adaptive. We adapt through intellect, receptive and constructive, takes on board and builds upon concepts. That's what intellect does. Receptive and constructive, takes on board and builds upon concepts, accumulates. So, like I said, I don't think it matters. Like I said, what we eat. It doesn't make us a good person or a bad person. If we feel good about what we're doing, it shouldn't have any dramas. Because from what I've learned, nobody punishes us but us. Like I said, if we think we're doing something wrong, we'll probably punish ourselves. We'll attract something in life that'll cause us harm, maybe, or get sick. Whatever. I've experienced all that stuff. I know how it works. We can do a whole lot of stuff to ourselves, attract a whole lot of stuff to ourselves because of the way we think and feel. And just to make it clear, and especially it's shown through geometry, designs of thought are products of thought. Products of thought. Everything's a product of thought. So feelings, well, let's say intellect. Feelings are expressions of emotional intelligence. Now, intellect is receptive and constructive thought. It has a receptive and constructive intention, intentional thought. So we have, like I said, everything's thought. Thought, designs of thought are products of thinking. A product of thought. An opinion of an environment, a response to an environment, as we think we shall become. So everything, so feelings are expressions of emotional thought, emotional intelligence, emotional, receptive and constructive thought. And I know everyone says thoughts and feelings as if they're different, but no, feelings are a product of thoughts. We develop feelings by thinking, same as everything else, by our way of thinking, by our evolution of thought. We develop feelings, expressions of emotional intelligence, of what has been suggestively taken on board and built upon through receptive and constructive thought, intellect, what we have received, what we have built upon. Just want to make that clear. Everything's a product of thoughts. Dictionary may not tell you that. Mainstream thought may not tell you that either. But my study of geometry, that people have called sacred, it's just geometry, has shown that in geometry, a point represents thought and opinion. A polygon represents a design of thought, a trait, still made up of points, lines between those points, lines of thought, directions that thought takes. So thought, like I said, thought's everything. It produces logic, produces feeling, everything. It's just a product of thought. Okay, so it's how we feel about what we're doing that will determine its effect upon us. Feeling suggests behaviour. How we behave is determined by our feelings. Like I said, if we feel, and I say like I said quite a lot of times, don't I? Hope you don't sort of mind about that. That's just, I've said all this before in other videos. So to me, when I know that I've said it before, I just say, like I said. It's just me repeating myself, in other words. So, like I said, there you go again. If we feel good about what we do, it's all good. It's all okay. We're going to be fit and healthy. But these days we have all of these advertisements, everyone voicing their opinions. Nothing wrong with that. But what they don't realise, a lot of advertisements on TV are to, I was going to say attack the emotions, but they're to use the emotions to influence people. So advertisements are made to influence people's emotions. Emotions are suggestive. Power of suggestion. So people use advertisements through the power of suggestion to influence others. We get all these charity advertisements and all sort of stuff, and they put all this horrible stuff on with kids being hurt and disease and whatever. It's to influence our emotions, so we'll contribute some money to it. But I think it's wrong not to contribute money, but it's wrong to do that to people's emotions. When you understand, what we are and how easily we are affected by what we see, what we experience, and for people to use that against them for their own purposes, even if they think they're doing the right thing, it's not the right thing at all. I get upset when I see all these ads on TV who are trying to make people feel bad. And I suppose in essence, we should feel bad about the fact that we have the haves and the have-nots in this reality, the rich and the poor. The rich have access to all of the technology, the health system, all stuff that's available, but the poor people can't afford it. So in essence, I suppose, yes, we should feel bad about allowing that stuff to happen. But to use, the mainstream media and all sort of stuff to bombard people, to make them feel bad, I don't like it, because it has a great effect on us, and that's what people don't really understand. How we feel suggests how we behave. Attitudinal behaviour is nature, the position a body takes in relation to how it feels. That's nature. The position a body takes in relation to what has been suggestively taken on board and built upon. the health of the body is determined by that as well. The position of the body, the position that the body takes in relation to what has been suggestively taken on board and built upon. We can get sick. Emotional stuff can wear us down. So we don't need to see it all over the place, bombarded with it. Some people are very impressionable, very vulnerable to that sort of stuff. Depressed people and whatever. So to bombard them with that stuff, it's just not right. In my opinion, it's not right. I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it, because I know how we're affected by our feelings, so I wouldn't do it. Getting back to the subject of what we eat, like I said, in my opinion, from what I have observed through my own experiences, I wasn't any fitter or healthier when I gave up meat. I was just the same me. Our body adapts. Our body adapts. Now, a lot of people say to me, you got to eat this and you got to eat that. You got to have this, you got to have that. Well, I don't think so. I'm one of the fittest people I know. I've been doing martial arts for 52, 53 years. I still train nearly every morning for an hour or so. I can still do 50 push-ups in a set. Do push-ups on my thumbs. Do handstand push-ups. Stretch my arm above my head and kick my hand. And I'm only saying that because, like I said, I'm nearly 70 this year, but I'm as fit as a damn fiddle. But I'm a vegan. But I was as fit as a damn fiddle when I was a big meat eater as well. So just because we change our diet, some people change their diet for health reasons. Other people change their diet for belief reasons. And I did change my diet because I thought I had to, I wanted to respect animals. Like I said, the body adapts. The strongest and the biggest land animals in the world are vegetarians. Elephants, rhinoceros, giraffes. All those creatures, they're all veggies. So, and a lot of people say to me, I say to them first, cows eat grass. They get everything they need from grass. And then someone will say, oh yeah, but they've got 3 stomachs. They're designed to eat grass. Well, not saying that I want to eat grass. I don't have dairy products. I just stopped eating meat. I stopped eating all the stuff that came from animals because I think it's wrong to abuse animals. Like I said, if we want to have respect for ourselves, but again, if you're unaware that you're doing anything wrong, it doesn't matter. It's only when you start to doubt yourself that it matters, because it can cause problems. And I know some people say ignorance is bliss, and I don't think that's true, but I suppose in that case, if you're not aware that you're doing anything wrong, if you don't feel as if you're doing anything wrong, it probably won't have any adverse effect on you. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating, whatever. But I did give it up through respect for animals, I'll have to admit. I had no concept of whether it was going to make me healthy or that I needed anything different if I was going to give up meat, supplements. Even when I ate meat, sometimes I took vitamins to boost me up if I was a bit down. I still do that once in a while as well, as a vegan. But like I said, I did it when I was a meat eater, so it didn't really matter. So, again, in my opinion, Doesn't matter what you eat. It's how you feel about what you eat. It's also how you feel about what you do. It's how you feel about everything that's going to determine its effect on you. And if you're very receptive to other people's feelings, and to what they're doing, their behaviour, that can have a big effect on you too. If you see a whole lot of stuff going on around you that you don't understand, you don't like, it makes you sick. It can make you sick. It's very important to feel as good as we can all the time. If you're going to do something, feel good about it. Don't take it on if you have doubts. Oh, I'm not quite sure about this. For some reason, whatever, whether you don't think it's legal, whether you don't think it's right, respectful. If you have doubts about this stuff, maybe you're better off not to do it, not to take it on board. But if you feel quite good about that stuff, it's probably not going to make any difference. So, and I guess at one point in time, I thought that it did make a difference, but I've learned through experience that it doesn't. It wouldn't make any difference to me what I did. Like I said, it's I do what I think, what makes me feel better. So respect for animals makes me feel better. Knowing that I'm not causing them any more harm than what they're already subjected to, not causing them any more struggle than what they're already going through, makes me feel good. And like I said, there we go again, like I said, my body is just going to adapt to whatever diet I subject it to. We adapt. Intellect is adaptive, receptive and constructive. Takes on board and builds upon concepts. It accumulates, forms memories. But it's adaptive. Helps us to evolve. Our intelligence helps us to evolve. We adapt to the climate, to our circumstances, circumstantial surroundings and conditions. That's what environment is. We adapt. I said I get around, I'm wearing a t-shirt now, only because I'm making a video. All year round, I get around in a pair of shorts, no shoes, or a pair of sandals, no shirt. Middle of winter, no shirt. Unless it gets below 5 degrees, then I put a t-shirt on. I rug up. A lot of people would say, "Oh shit," to that, I suppose. I don't really care what people say. That's how it is. What you see is what you get. Everyone that knows me, if they see me with a shirt on, they wonder what's wrong. What do you want a shirt for? So we adapt to our environment. We're supposed to adapt to our environment. Most people somehow are so afraid of everything. Oh, it's cold, I'm going to get sick. It's hot, I'll get heat stroke. Put the air conditioner on, put the heater on, rug up, put the beanie on, put the jacket on, put the Ugg boots on. Yeah, okay. Most people do that. They still get sick because they haven't learned to adapt. Because when we get a really hot day, or a few hot days, and then we get a cool day for some reason, the body goes into a state of shock. We get sick, we get a cold, because we haven't learned to adapt. It sneaked up on us. Didn't have our heater on. Didn't have our jacket on. You know, when we were growing up as kids, there was all this rubbish going on. Don't go out in the rain. You'll get a cold. In other words, don't get wet. You'll get a cold. What happens when you go swimming? There was all this nonsense going on. You know, if you do this, you'll get that. Whatever. That's how they were brought up. That's what they believed to be true. They took it on board. It's what they believed to be true. Therefore, they became governed by their belief systems. Oh, if it gets cold, we have to put a jacket on. If it gets hot, oh, you know, we've got to cool down somehow. Put the air conditioner on. Like I said, the body adapts. We adapt if we allow ourselves to adapt. Otherwise, we become reliant upon all of the tools and the toys that we've created. So we don't have to adapt. And again, a lot of people running around saying this diet's better for you, or you'll get really strong with this diet. You know, this, and this. You must have a certain percentage of fish and a certain percentage of all this other stuff, red meat. If you believe that to be true, then it's true for you. It's just true for you. Therefore, you'll think you need all that sort of stuff, and if you don't get it, you'll probably develop a problem. Because you're not getting what you have believed yourself, what you believe you have needed. And that's what we've developed, all of these needs. I need this, I need that. All these needs that we've accepted to be true. It's all nonsense. I'm speaking from experience. It's nonsense. You know, at one time, if I could have given up food, I would have. And I tried a few times. Because my concept of reality is a bit different to most people's. Thought manifests. We visualize our thoughts into a dream. Virtual reality became actual reality and imprisoned the mind. Actuality is belief-based. Fears are belief-based. All belief-based. So we become governed by our beliefs. I need this, I need that. You know, some we have been born into, others we've developed and become governed by them. But I have experimented with all of that sort of stuff throughout my lifetime. And it's not true. Why is it possible for me to wander around in a pair of shorts and no shoes in 5-degree temperature? I'll have to admit though, if there's a cool wind blowing, I feel it more. If there's a cool wind blowing, you know, it more or less cuts straight through you. Wind chill, that's what they call it, wind chill. The wind chill factor. Wind chill factor. Does have an effect. I do feel it a bit more when there's wind blowing. But I still train. I go for walks first to warm up a little bit, because if I train while I'm a little bit cooler, and I've done it before, you know, damage muscles and whatever. So I go for a walk first in the morning, do a few Ks, a fast walk, get the heart pumping. Then I go and do balance and flexibility training, and then work out on the punching bag. Not all the time, not much these days. I used to do it every day, about 2 hours a day I used to train. Started back into training when I retired at 60. Got into training full time every day, roughly 2 hours a day. Fit as a damn fiddle. Don't train as much now, but I'm still as fit as a fiddle. Nothing's changed. I'm a vegan. Nothing's changed with that. Don't catch other people's stuff, because I'm not afraid of catching other people's stuff. Thought manifests. I'm telling you all of this sort of stuff because it makes a difference. It's real. It's just the way we are. It is what it is. You know? We visualize our thoughts into this, what we call life. But it's not. It's a virtual reality. We exist within our own mind, where personalities are the same mind. Identified attitudinal behaviours of the same mind. We share a mind. We share a dream as well. Personal dreamers sharing the same dream, contributing to the one dream. And it's what we make it. You know, it's what we make it. I love the fact that I can adapt. I adapt so well when I backpacked halfway around the world by myself. No matter where I went, I was comfortable, wasn't afraid. Travelled around Australia towing a caravan by myself. Wasn't afraid. I was comfortable. I enjoyed my own company, but I also liked socialising. So being a vegan didn't make me like that. I'm just like that. You know, what I do and what I eat doesn't change who I am. It's just that we change our minds every now and again. Oh, I like doing this. The next day, don't like doing that. We change our minds. That's okay. Doesn't mean we change us. We just decide to do different stuff. Change our diet. But most people change their diet for health reasons. You know, oh, something's making me sick. Or I heard on the TV that stuff's no good for me. And if you start to doubt what you're doing, feel bad about it, you're probably better to give it up, because it will be no good for you. But if you're like me, I don't give a stuff what people say. It has no effect on me whatsoever. I listen to all the stuff that people are trying to sell products, trying to sell food, belief systems. People trying to sell everything. Putting a patent on everything. Oh, I own this knowledge now. Or this word, I said this word, you can't say it anymore unless you pay me for it. I got copyright. It's a lot of freaking rubbish. You know, we're sharing the same dream, we're sharing the same mind. Why in the hell would we want to bloody do that to each other? You know, you can't have this because I've got it. You want some? Pay for it. I get annoyed with how we have become. I get annoyed. And all the crap that people have on TV. This diet, that diet. Oh, this is no good for you. This is great for you. Oh. They're selling a product. They're selling an idea. They're selling a concept, usually because they're a fitness trainer or they're a pharmaceutical company or they're a fruit grower, dairy products. Everyone's selling their stuff. So they have to more or less say, this is good for you. You know, this is great. You've got to have some. You'll get sick otherwise. Oh, I wish they'd stop. I wish in the schools children would be taught their potential. Their potential to make themselves sick through the way they think, the way they feel, to make themselves well through the way they think, the way they feel, treating each other with respect, love-based feeling, love-based behaviour is respect. You know, if children were taught what our potential is, you know, that we manifested this dream state, we're all contributing to this dream state by our thoughts. We're all contributing to it by our thoughts. Thought manifests. We visualise our thoughts. This is what life is, a visualisation of thoughts. Just is what it is. We exist within our own mind, within our own visualisations of thought within our mind. We call it a dream. It's a visualisation of thoughts within our own mind. You know, we have daydreams. You know, you can be awake and then visualise stuff in your mind. That's a daydream. Well, we're having a daydream, guys. This is a visualisation of thoughts. We are visualising that we're awake. We're visualising everything and classing it as our reality. And it's up to us. If we don't like the way it is, it's up to us to change it. Trouble is, we have 8 billion humans, without regarding everything else, all having different ideas of how life should be, of what they want, their desires, wishes. This is how it should be. So they're all competing against each other to bring about their visualizations of thought into the dream state. No wonder it's so hard to create anything. We have all this competition, all these competitors trying to get their stuff forward, trying to sell their stuff, their ideas, whatever. All competing against one another. It's just a nightmare. And as I said, all these different groups of people trying to tell us what we should eat. Admittedly, having respect for animals, I see as a good thing. But I don't feel bad or guilty about when I didn't have respect for them. I just am aware of the fact that I didn't have respect for them at that time. I didn't understand. I wasn't educated. I wasn't taught that that was wrong. And look, we have different interpretations of wrong, right and wrong. What I'm getting to is, if it makes you feel bad, don't do it. And if you're going to do something, feel as good as you can about it. Even as far as health goes, if you're going to take on some sort of remedial modality, feel good about it. Don't doubt it. Because the better you feel about what you're doing, the less chance of having problems while doing it, or because of doing it. So whatever you're eating, feel good about it. Whatever diet you choose to have, it'll be good to choose to have it for the right reasons. I didn't take up being a vegan for health reasons. Well, I'll have to stop myself there. It was for health reasons, but not my health reasons. It was for the health of the animals that I became a vegan. Didn't like to see them abused and used, thrown away, discarded. Just didn't appeal to me, didn't like it. But when I was unaware of all that sort of stuff, I felt okay. And I didn't spend the rest of my life feeling guilty about what I used to do. See, it doesn't matter what you used to do. It's what you're doing now that matters. That's all that matters. What you're doing now. My concept of a global community is giving everyone the opportunity to become a decent member of society by learning a skill to share with the community, then receiving everything you need for a comfortable life from the community, from everybody else that is sharing their skills. And in that video of global community, I did mention about prisons, giving prisoners the opportunity to become decent members of society, learn a skill that's beneficial to everybody, become a decent member of society. Just stop doing all the bad stuff. Stop hurting people. That's what I regard as bad stuff. Stop hurting people. Stop stealing from them. Stop scamming them. All these scammers, scum of the earth. All of that stuff. I get angry sometimes that when people are abusing people's trust, to take advantage of their trust, to steal from them. I do get a bit angry, I'll have to admit. But I'm okay with that. Because if I feel bad about something, about what people are doing, I'm going to voice my opinion and feel good about voicing my opinion. Not hold it all in because I'm afraid of what other people will think. Cause myself problems by doing it, because it all builds up inside of you and makes you sick. Better off to vent in a way that's not going to cause too many problems for other people. You know, go out somewhere and scream or whatever. Like I said, that annoys me. But what you eat doesn't make you a good or bad person, guys. It really doesn't. You know, I would like not to see animals being harmed, because it does upset me when I see that. I'll have to admit, it does upset me. But I don't want to take those people who are eating meat and beat the crap out of them, because I used to eat meat too. When I was unaware, I didn't have respect. Awareness-based behaviour, love-based behaviour is respect. Love-based feeling, awareness-based feeling. It's respect. If you're unaware that what you're doing is causing harm to others, or you know you're causing harm, but that's just the way you're brought up, that's just normal to you. As I said, you can't punish ignorance. So, all these people have all these fears that what they're eating is no good for them. Or they're all going, wow, yeah, all this stuff, this is great. Yep, got to share it with everybody else. You should eat this, you should eat that. Only because you feel good about what you're eating and you think that it's doing you good, so you want to share that with other people, that's fine. As long as you recognise that it wouldn't matter what you're eating, if you still felt good about it, it'd still be the same. It'd still be the same. Unless you have doubts. Unless you feel that you're doing something wrong. Unless you've taken on board and built upon all the stuff that people are drumming into your head to indoctrinate you into accepting their diets. So many people with cooking shows and diets selling their products. You know, eat this, eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that. And again, we visualize our thoughts into a dream, into a shared dream. if we feel that something's good for us, and if we feel that something's bad for us, if we have a belief in something, we will visualize something into the dream state to reinforce that belief, that concept. We'll find evidence that it's either good for you or it's bad for you, because it'll manifest into the dream state in some way or form. That's how it works. So it's not that something's good for you or bad for you. It's just that if you think something is, it will be. And if you think something isn't, it won't be. This is the amazing thing about us, about the dream. Visualization of thoughts. When we stop trying to, not force, but some people do try and force their stuff on other people, trying to influence other people, trying to con them in some way or form to accept something that we want them to accept. You know, when we get to the point of going, okay, I like doing this, it's not causing harm to anybody, that's fine. But if we know we're causing harm, at that point, when we're all aware of how it all works, and we have respect for other parts of ourself, an infinite number of personalities sharing the one mind, existing within the one dream, visualizing their thoughts, being subjected to all of those other visualizations that other personalities are having. When we understand that completely, then we will hopefully realise that probably not a good idea to do that anymore. Might be better to respect one another, help one another, support one another, and if we're still eating at that time, to eat something that's not going to cause harm to any other creatures, so we feel better about ourselves, because once we become aware of something and we start to have a realisation that what we were doing, it wasn't real great, it's better to give that up and start doing something else, because it'll visualise itself somewhere in the body or in your life. You'll attract situations in your life because of your doubts and fears. So we're better off, as I did, when I realised I didn't want to do that stuff anymore, I just stopped. One day I was doing something, the next day I wasn't. It didn't have any adverse effect on me because I felt really good about giving it up. Didn't have any doubts. It's just easy. Stop doing that. Yeah, I think differently now. I'll just start doing this. It worked for me. You know, we go back to the caveman diets, fruit diets, liquid diets. We have breatharians, and admittedly, the concept of not eating. When we truly understand what we are, we're just energy. We're visualised energy. We've just developed all of these beliefs that we have needs to exist, needs to exist in a healthy state. We've developed all these needs, these belief systems, but in essence, we probably don't need any of that stuff. It's just how we've evolved, how the mind has evolved, according to the questions it asked, how it felt about itself, the fears. We developed all these needs, these concepts that if you go out in the rain, get wet, you'll get a cold. that if it gets cold, put a jacket on, put the heater on. If it gets hot, put the air conditioner on. I've already proven to myself that's unnecessary. And I know that if I really was determined to fully adapt, that even below 5 degrees, I wouldn't have to put a t-shirt on. And sometimes I don't, actually. Sometimes I'm a bit amazed at the temperature, because I think, I usually go on feelings, on how I feel about the temperature. I go, oh yeah, I'm feeling a little bit fresh. And sometimes I'm surprised, because then I realise it was about 3 degrees. I did feel fresh. Didn't feel bad or distraught or uncomfortable. It just felt fresh. So sometimes I can get below 5 degrees without feeling uncomfortable. And I'll get other days where it's not as cool, but I feel it more for some reason. It does make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I'll put a t-shirt on. But I can't remember having to put anything more than a t-shirt on for a lot of years. Long time. Adaptation. We were born to adapt. Born to adapt. As we think we shall become. It's just the way we are. It's what we are. We think, we visualise our thoughts in the mind, and we call that visualisation a dream. That's us. So, if you want to experiment yourself with what I've told you, for me, it works. I've proven it to myself. And I've always had that philosophy: if someone else can do it, I can do it. Therefore, I can do it. So can you. If you choose to. You may enjoy waking up, putting heaters on, air conditioners on. But it makes us weak. We're not adapting to our environment. We're compensating for our fears, our doubts, our learnt weaknesses. We're just compensating for all that stuff. But when you have self-confidence, self-reliance, self-control, you realise that pretty much anything's possible if you put your mind to it. Anyway, I don't know whether anyone got anything from that, but I'm just trying to let you know that all this diet stuff is just nonsense. It's just a whole lot of belief systems that people have accepted and want to share with others. So the intention's probably good sometimes. Other times they're just trying to sell something. I'm just trying to share something. I'm not putting a price on any of the stuff that I've got, but I can afford to do that because I'm retired. So I can afford to share everything that I've learnt because I'm retired. Other people, they make all of that sort of stuff an income for their survival. I understand that too. But I just don't like using people, using people's emotional states and their vulnerable beliefs against them. I don't like that. Or to serve our own purpose, to take advantage of their vulnerabilities. I don't like that either. I just don't like it. it rubs me the wrong way. Makes me feel bad. So, and I hope nobody's taken offence with what I've said. I'm sharing my experiences and what I've learned, how everything works. I don't have all of the answers, but I have a lot of them. And in essence, as I've spoken before, when we ask a question, an infinite number of possible answers could manifest into the dream state, could be visualized to symbolically represent answers to those questions, possible answers to those questions. So all the stuff that I'm sharing may just be a possible answer to that question. How did we come about? You know, what's our purpose? What created us? Who am I? Maybe I've just taken on board and built upon one of those possible answers to that question. And I've proved it to be right by visualizing into the dream state evidence and proof that it works. I'll have to accept that is a possibility. That is what's happening. Because anything's possible. You know, we visualize our thoughts, that's just it. Whatever we can think, we can visualize. No matter what we think, through the imagination, we can bring it into being. And we can believe it to be true, because we'll manifest the evidence to support it. I think it's marvelous. Actually, I think it's fantastic. You know, we have this concept of how we think things are, and then we manifest evidence into the dream state to prove it. Couldn't get much better than that. It just depends on what rabbit hole you want to go down. Okay, so like I said, I hope someone got something from it. And thank you for listening if you did. And we'll catch up.